Welcome to Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. My name is CT Dice, and it's Friday, January 10th, 2025. Um, um, we're back with another episode of Put Your Money Where Your Mouth Is. Basically, on here, we do and we take picks of no odds under 2.5. High risk, high reward. Gonna do a quick recap from last Friday. I think that was January 3, 2025. I'm going to go through it here quickly. Before I do the recap here, it's an exciting weekend. The NFL regular season, it's done. So now we can actually look at the playoffs and see who actually lifts a Lombardi trophy, basically lifts the Super Bowl trophy for the NFL. For soccer, a lot of the top leagues are back from the Christmas New Year break, like the German Bundesliga, the La Liga, and some other top leagues in Europe. Also, the NBA is right in the middle of it, kind of getting ready to go for the All-Star break sometime next month. We're going to do a recap here. I'm going to start with the NFL. So for the NFL, the final regular season games in the NFL last weekend. Basically on here, I kind of adjusted things a little bit because I just wanted to make sure it was teams playing for something against teams that were not playing for anything. So just went through a few of the games here. High odds, 6 picks. One did come through, the rest did not. I'm going to go through it. Kansas City Chiefs was not playing for anything. They already have the number 1 seed locked up. They had to get in a bye week as well this weekend in the wild card round. So they didn't play any of their starters to make sure that they were healthy. Went into the Denver Broncos and needed to secure a wild card place. They were playing the Buffalo Bills on wild card weekend away from home in Buffalo. So the Kansas City Chiefs at the Denver Broncos lost 0-38. That was a blowout for the Denver Broncos. Put on here that obviously Denver Broncos played with their starters and their best players, and they won comfortably by over 26 points out of 7, 2 units. Only one that came through, but I'm going to run through all the other games, the teams that needed it, and how those games ended. It didn't actually, the blowouts weren't a lot on here. The Carolina Panthers at the Atlanta Falcons. Falcons needed to win this game to give themselves a chance of making the playoffs. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers slipped up, they lost 38-44 at home to the Carolina Panthers. That didn't come through. The New Orleans Saints at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers were 13-point favorites. They needed to win this game. They did win the game 27-19, but they didn't win by more than 27 points. Kind of a reach there. Washington Commanders needed to win the Dallas Cowboys away from home at the Cowboys to secure a wild card position, to be sure of it. I said they could win by 21. That didn't happen. They won by only 4 points, 23-19. The LA Chargers played some of their starters a little bit to sealed up after the Cincinnati Bengals Pittsburgh game. Here they went to the Las Vegas Raiders and they won 34-20. They didn't win by 20 points as we needed. It was actually a last minute, last drive, however you put it. Las Vegas touchdown at the end of the game that actually allowed Vegas to score 20 points, and that didn't come through. They didn't score 20 points in that game. They were favored by 4 points away from home. The Chicago Bears at the Green Bay Packers. The Green Bay Packers were 10-point favorites at home. They needed to win this game to kind of improve their seeding in the playoffs. They lost the game 24-22. They were 10-point favorites. The Chicago Bears kind of ended their season on a decent note there. So the Packers basically didn't even win the game at all. They will be in the playoffs here against away from home at the Philadelphia Eagles. That should be a fun playoff game. Jordan Love versus Jalen Hurts. Josh Jacobs versus Saquon Barkley. That should be an interesting wildcard weekend here. And for the week, 12 units, 14 units back with one game out of 7, plus 2 units. And for the full season, positive plus 18.95 units in the NFL. The next recap I'm going to take a look at here would be the recap for soccer last week. I'm going to go through this quickly because it was that bad. All 4 games, none did come through. 8 units placed, 0 units back. Went from a positive 40 basically to a positive 31 units for the season in soccer. Liverpool versus Manchester United, that game ended 2-2. Thought Liverpool could win comfortably and win the first half by more than one. That didn't happen. West Ham to draw the game against Man City away from home. Man City won comfortably 4-1. Aston Villa to win comfortably by over 4 goals against Leicester. They did win the game, ended 2-1. Tottenham at home versus Newcastle. I thought Newcastle's in excellent form could win comfortably by 2 goals. They did win the game, but just by 1 goal for that. And then for the NBA, for a recap from January 3, 2025, last week, Friday, 4 games. Just one section actually came through on here. The others didn't come through. Atlanta Hawks, we're doing great in the NBA anyway. Atlanta Hawks at the LA Lakers. Atlanta Hawks 102-119 lost to the Lakers in that game. Thought the Hawks with the Lakers in the back-to-back could actually come in and win comfortably. That didn't happen. Charlotte Hornets at the Detroit Pistons. That game ended Pistons 98, Charlotte 94. Pistons didn't win comfortably. They did win the game, but not comfortably. Lost the first half 65-52. San Antonio Spurs at the Denver Nuggets. Spurs came in away from home 113-110 against the Denver Nuggets. Thought the Nuggets could actually win here comfortably at home. That did not happen yet. And finally, Boston Celtics. The section that came through is Boston Celtics are still great in the first quarter. They won the Houston Rockets 109-86 for the full game, a blowout. In the first quarter, they scored 37 points in that first quarter, covered over 32 against Houston's 31 in the first quarter. Thought Houston could win the full game in an interesting sport to actually step up for Houston. They did not step up. Boston did win that game comfortably last Friday, January 3, 2025. And for the picks for Friday, January 10, 2025, I'm going to start with the NFL because to me, it's the playoffs, it's the big games, it's what really matters out here to actually win a championship in the NFL. Is the wild card weekend. 3 games I like here. With the playoffs, the lines are so tight. These are really good teams. So for the alternatives that I like, no real value in my opinion. It's going to be tough here. I think maybe the Baltimore Ravens at home to the Pittsburgh Steelers. They blow out the Pittsburgh Steelers. Steelers have been playing badly. Chargers have a chance to also blow out the Houston Texans. But here I'm going to actually switch it up a little bit. I'm going to go with player props for rushing yards because in my opinion, the NFL playoffs is about who dominates on the ground, who can actually run the ball. Around this time, you can actually see if your offensive line can actually run the ball, control the game, and if you have the lead, you want to be able to run the ball. So I'll look at a few running backs or running situations out here, not only running backs. For the LA Chargers at the Houston Texans on Saturday, January 11, Texans are 3-point favorites, total 42, over under 42. Joe Mixon is actually put up here for 73.5 rush yards. He's been horrible basically in the last 4 games or so ending the regular season. That means Joe Mixon rushing the ball. I don't think this Houston Texans offense is good right now. I don't think they're going to take the lead and try to protect it. I don't think he's going to get up to 15 carries in this game. So I like under 53.5 alternative yards for Joe Mixon. Out of 3.5 is the playoffs. I don't think he's going to step up. I don't think Houston Texans are going to step up against this Jim Harbaugh-led LA Chargers. The next game will be the Pittsburgh Steelers at the Baltimore Ravens. The Ravens are 10 points favorites, total 43.5. I think the Baltimore Ravens actually come in here and dominate the Pittsburgh Steelers. That didn't end the season in good form. I think Derrick Henry comes in here, gets 20 to 25 carries in this game, goes over 130 yards. I think he would get over 100 yards, but over 130 yards out of 4, very possible. 2 units here for the king himself, Derrick Henry, trying to get himself a championship in Baltimore. And finally, the Washington Commanders at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Buccaneers are 3-point favorites, total 50 points. I say Jaden Daniels has to rush the ball to give them a chance in this game. He's slated at 48.5 rush yards. I say he goes over 70 rush yards for this game. He's going to have to run 10 to 15 times in this game explosively to actually give the Washington Commanders a chance in Tampa Bay in this playoffs. And finally would be this will be the picks for soccer for Friday, January 10. So we're gonna go 2 games here. The German Bundesliga is back. We're gonna leave the English Premier League. There are midweek games, but the weekend basically will be for the FA Cup in England. So for this weekend, Saturday, January 11th, I'm going to go back to two teams I'm targeting most of the season, two very bad teams, but I'm going to start with the first one. Mainz at home versus Bochum. Bochum is a really bad team. They had 6 points for the season. I think Mainz is about 24, 25 points in the German Bundesliga. They're at home. I say Mainz scores over 3.5 goals or over 4.5 goals. Odds here out of 6 for over 3.5, 2 units. Out of 15 for over 4.5 for Mainz, 1.5 unit for that. SC Freiburg is at home versus Holstein Kiel. Holstein Kiel, 8 points, has won their last 2 games impressively. They're going to be away here to SC Freiburg. SC Freiburg at home scores over 3.5 goals out of 4.5 or scores over 4.5 goals. High scoring game 5-0, 5-1, 5-2, 5-3, whatever the case might be. I say they score up to 4 or 5 goals in this game to score over 4.5 out of 10, 1.5 unit for that. And finally, for basketball for January 3, 2025. Doing this a little bit early, so don't have much of an injury report. A lot of players falling sick, a lot of injured players in the NBA, but I'm going to take sports and positions here. The OKC Thunder at the New York Knicks. Not totals, but I like the spread here. I said the Thunder just lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers in the big national TV game. To the Thunder lost to the Cavaliers. I think they go away from home here at Madison Square Garden, and they want to prove a point. They come in here against the New York Knicks, who I think it's okay, but not great. Recently, they say the first half, the Thunder win by 6, full game by over 13 away from home. Next game with Sacramento Kings at the Boston Celtics. This is a game I think the Boston Celtics can come and dominate. Sacramento Kings are away from home. They fired their coach. They've played well in the last 4 or 5 games. But I think the Boston Celtics has a chance to score over 34 points in the first quarter, over 68 in the first half, win them by over 12 in the first half, and win by over 20 in the full game. And the main reasoning for this, I think, with the whole wildfires going on in LA right now, it might affect players more psychologically that actually play anywhere in California. I think this is affecting most of these teams. You can see that by the poor results for the LA Clippers and LA Lakers recently as well. So I think Boston can take advantage of that. Sacramento Kings worried about what's going on in California and the wildfires. Maybe not have their head in the game and get blown out of the gym by the Boston Celtics. Next game will be the Golden State Warriors at the Indiana Pacers. Similar thinking. California worried about what's going on there with the wildfires. But I think the Indiana Pacers anyway is playing way better. Golden State Warriors are on a back-to-back. This is a rough spot for the Golden State Warriors. I love the Indiana Pacers here to win the first half by 10, win the full game by 17, score over 64 in the first half, and over 123. I like totals less and the spreads more in this game. Washington Wizards at the Chicago Bulls. Bulls are favored by 11.5 points over under 240.5. I like the Bulls here. The Washington Wizards want to win and get a high pick. I think the Bulls have a chance to blow them out here. Win over 13 in the first half, over 21 in the full game. Score over 69 in the first half and over 133 for the full game. Alternative odds here for that. So I actually love that, and that will be all the games for Friday, January 10. I'm excited about the NFL playoffs. There could be a watch along here for the wildcard games. We'll try a game or two here on the City Dice channel. If you like this, having a value, having a comment, don't forget, leave your comments, like the channel, subscribe, and let me know what you think. Thank you for actually being here, watching, and supporting the channel. Peace.